The Krellian command ship, Dominator's Pride, groaned under the weight of its own confusion. Fires burned along its secondary hull. Explosions from inside were not just from enemy attacks, but systems overloaded from miscalculations and sabotage. Admiral Zextar paced the bridge, his 6 eyes wide with disbelief. This is not war. This is madness. He growled. Across the stars, the colony of Kepler 442b was still standing. Not only standing, but winning. But how? There was no primary. Human fleet in sight. No famous admirals. No massive warships. Just humans. And they were fighting like devils. Captain Jin-Tae gripped the edge of his command console, deep inside the asteroid base. His knuckles were white. Sweat dripped down his temple. Report? He asked calmly. Enemy has lost over 100 ships, said Yunmi, the colony's lead engineer turned weapons officer. They're still trying to retreat, but we've jammed their communications. They don't know where to go. Jin-Tae gave a slow nod. They're scared, he whispered. On the Krellian bridge, Zextar's fury was boiling. We are the Dominion, he roared. How are civilians doing this? Major Crux's voice was shaken. Sir... They're not fighting with rules. They're fighting to survive. The asteroid belt surrounding Kepler 442b was no longer empty space, and it was a trap. The humans had placed mining charges inside dozens of floating rocks. As the Krellians approached, those asteroids became flying bombs tumbling, spinning, slamming into alien ships with precise force. Mining lasers, once used to cut stone, now sliced through armor. Shuttles that once carried workers now dropped explosives. Old transport ships detonated at just the right time, taking down ships 20 times their size. This wasn't a fleet. It was a ghost army of engineers, farmers, miners, and children of Earth. But they had teeth. Dayun, a young biologist who had never seen war, now led a small squadron of kamikaze drones. Each drone was a kitchen pod reprogrammed to track Krellian energy signals. Release swarm. 3, she said. Target their engine vents. Swarm 3 away, said her assistant, Sung-ho. Estimated contact, 11 seconds. The screen lit up with silent explosions. Dozens of Krellian ships stalled in space, spinning helplessly. Dayun exhaled. I used to study mushrooms, she whispered. Now I'm winning a war. Admiral Zextar slammed his fist into the control panel. They are using science like a weapon. Yes, said Lieutenant Krex quietly. And they are very good at it. In the shadows behind the planet, more human ships appeared. Old cargo freighters, medical transports. Even survey drones. All of them had been retrofitted. All of them were deadly. Minji, a former university student, piloted the biggest freighter. Of them all, permission to ram? He asked. Jin-Tae hesitated. Your crew evacuated 10 minutes ago. It's just me and the ship. Go, said Jin-Tae. Minji smiled. Tell Earth I passed my test. The freighter lit up its engines and flew straight into the heart of the enemy fleet. It hit the Krellian command carrier with the force of a falling moon. The explosion was silent in space, but every human on Kepler 442b saw it and screamed. Enjoy! Zextar was thrown from his seat. Smoke filled the bridge. Abandon ship. Evacuate the Dominator's Pride. But it was too late. The pride of the Krellian fleet split into 3 broken pieces and began to fall toward the planet. In the command center, Jin-Tae stood still, eyes locked on the screen. He did it, whispered Yunmi. Minji. He did it? Jin-Tae nodded. Broadcast to all teams. The flagship is down. Push forward. Do not stop. The humans didn't stop. They moved like ghosts through the debris. Some ships fired. Others jammed. Others just caused chaos, false signals, fake energy trails, sensor flares. The Krellians tried to regroup, but the humans never gave them a chance. In one sector, G1, a former teacher, now led a small drone unit. She had turned her classroom AI into a tactical engine. Her math students had helped design the targeting software. They were 12 years old. Now, their code was guiding laser arrays that hit Krellian engines with surgical precision. Zextar's escape pod shook as it dodged flaming wreckage. This cannot be how it ends, he muttered. We are conquerors. We have crushed empires. His second-in-command looked at him with disbelief. They're not an empire, he said. They're something worse. They're free people with nothing left to lose. The last Krellian warships tried to escape. Some made it, most didn't. But humans didn't chase them. They didn't need to. The message was clear. You came to crush us. You thought we were weak. But we are human, and we will burn the stars before we bow. The battlefield fell silent. The smoke cleared. The stars looked down at a new legend. Kepler 442b, once just a mining colony, was now a graveyard for the greatest warfleet in the galaxy. And still no sign of the primary fleet. Because it had never been sent, humanity's leaders thought Kepler 442b would fall. They had written it off, but the people didn't agree. So they fought. In the cratered control room. Jin Tae looked at the screen. Only 29 human ships remained. Hundreds had been lost, thousands dead, but the colony was still there, and so was he. Yoon Mi, he said softly, tell Earth. We held. She blinked back tears. Yes, sir. And tell them something else. What? Next time, send backup. They both laughed. It was the laugh of survivors, a laugh of those who had stood before death and refused to kneel. Across the galaxy, other alien races watched. They had once feared the Krellians. Now they feared something else. A colony of humans had defeated a professional warfleet without military training, without support. Without command, with only grit, fury, and something called imagination. Whispers spread across the stars. The humans had won. Not with strength, but with something stronger. Refusal. Refusal to die. Refusal to lose. Refusal to be forgotten. On Earth, when the news came in, the leaders were silent. But across the streets of every city, people cheered. They cheered for the engineers. The students. The miners. The hackers. The children. For Kepler 442b, a small colony that changed everything. The Battle of Kepler became a legend, and the world finally understood. Humanity's primary fleet is not made of ships. It is made of people.